Welcome to the weekly Shia of Zera Shimshon. It's Yom Hey Parshas Vayigash. Hey Lechodesh Teves Tovshim Pevov. We learn Zera Shimshon Oy Zayin Adova Nifla. Perish Rashi al Apostle V'yar Es HaGoloitz Asher Sholach Yosef. Yosef Tzadik sends to Yaakov Avinu wagons to bring Yaakov Avinu into Golus. Yaakov Avinu sees the agolos, he sees the wagons, and then he feels calmer, and he feels that he's able to go down to Mitzrayim. Says Rashi, what was the message of the agolos? Siman matzah lehem, b'meh hoya oisek keshapirish imenu patras egla arufa. The last sugya that Yaakov and Yosef learned together was the parasha of Egla Arufa, which is a parasha about when one finds Nabal Chayid that was killed, and we don't know who killed him, then the elders of the town have to go out. They have to take out this Eglah, and they say, Yedenu lo yishipchu es adam hazeh. We are not guilty about the bloodshed of this individual. V'einenu lo yiro. We didn't see this. And this was the sugya that Yaakov Avinu was learning with Yosef Tzadik before they departed. Yesh ledaktik. Says the Heilige Zera Shimshon, I want to understand. Lama dafke eira adova. What's the significance? Why was it? She Yosef yenifresh ma'aviv. Yosef was separated from his father. The Parshas Egla Arufa. Punkt. That was the sugya that they learned last. Umau zeh remes shesholach Yosef achshav la'aviv. And why was this the remes that Yosef sent his father? That they're learning the sugya of Egla Arufa. What's the significance? What's the message? What's the connection between this and going down to Mitzrayim? Before we learn the pshat of the Zera Shimshon, I'll say the pshat for Shteten Shem Mishmuel. A wheel, in order to be able to move, it has to go down and up, down and up. That's how it goes round, down and up, down and up. And the message was, you're right, Golos is the Yerida, but this Yerida is L'tzorech Aliyah. Don't be intimidated by the fact we're going into Golos, because this is what an Agola is. This is a wagon. A wagon goes from place to place by the wheel going down and round, down and up. And this is the way how we grow, by having Yeridas, and then we have the Aliyahs. The Aliyahs are only possible after the Yeridas. But that doesn't tie into the sugya of Egla Arufa. The Heilige Zera Shimshon wants to understand the connection to Egla Arufa. Listen to the Heilige Pshat from the Zera Shimshon. Yesh Leima. The Isa b'Perik Zayin the Soita. The Gemara says in Perik Zayin the Soita, Egla Arufa in a bar, Ela b'shvil tzarei ayin. The whole concept of Egla Arufa comes when people are misers. People don't do chesed. There was an ani in town and people didn't give him food. That's the kapara of the Egla Arufa. Al Kain, says the Zera Shimshon, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ratza she Yosef Yisparish Me'aviv. The last thing that Yosef should learn with his father before he goes down to Mitzrayim will be Sugya Egla Arufa. Why? Hoil she Yosef Tchilas Golos Mitzrayim. Yosef was the beginning of Golos. Tila Tamid Lizakarim Pashas Egla Arufa. She'ena Ba Ela Bishvil Tzarei Ayin. Stay away from being a miser. Although you're going into Erbas Haaretz, into a place of Taiva. Taiva is Yevakesh Nifrad. Taiva, by definition, makes a person selfish and is involved in his own retzoinus. Says Yaakov Avinu to Yosef, always remember the sugya of Egla Arufa. The bread in Mitzrayim breeds greediness, selfishness, self-centeredness. The Isa B'Zoya, the Zoya says, the Ika Nochsi Yisrael Mitzrayim, Leitama Namen de Mitzrayim, if they wouldn't have eaten the bread of Mitzrayim, Leishtavku Begelusa, the Ika La Mitzrayim. Which means, I think, in a sense, the bread of Mitzrayim means the ideology, the way they live. They live for themselves. Olachein, Yosef Kesharatza, Shavet Yerid Eila Mitzrayim. Yosef sending a message to his father. Heilige Yaakov Avinu, don't be afraid to come to Mitzrayim. Yaakov was very afraid. Mitzrayim is a place of tsar ayin, a place of selfishness, a place that people weren't kind to each other. what Mitzrayim is all about. Shalach loy siman zeh she'egla rufa kloima hagolus shal Mitzrayim einach reichi v'dav nigzim mishamayim. It's only because of ra'ayin. We can be careful. We don't have to fall in. Yosef says, I'm going to feed you. I won't even give you their bread. You won't eat from Mitzrayim anything. And I think we can add, the Chavetz Chaim tells us in his Sefer Avas Chesed, the Pasuk says, Nachisa b'chastacha am zu ga'alta. At the end of the whole Yitzhak, in the Shira, we say, Nachisa b'chastacha. How did we get out of Mitzrayim? When Klal Yisrael together made a bond of friendship that they're going to do chesed with each other. They're going to be kind to each other. They won't be selfish. They'll be there for one another. And that's why there's a mitzvah before we left Mitzrayim. V'yish'alu ish meisra eyu v'ish meisra usa. And the Gra says the mitzvah was they should borrow from each other. Lend, be kind, be generous, be benevolent. That is going out to Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim is mitzarim, is a boundary, is a limitation, is a restriction. You're tied into oneself. Leaving Mitzrayim means a person can open up and he can look at somebody else and he can be kind and he can be sensitive to other people. That's going out of Mitzrayim. And this is what the parish of Egla Rufa teaches us. This was the chizuk for Yankov Avinu. And now that, the second to last Makkah, which some cheshbonis was the last Makkah, Makkah's B'choros was a Makkah just to get out. The last Makkah was Choshech. It became dark. There's a vod from the Eliyach Dusharim, the Pasuk says, for 3 days, Makkah's Choshech leroy ishas achiv. They didn't see each other. So the Chedusharim, this means, you know what darkness is? Darkness is when we don't see another Yid. Leroy ishas achiv. That is Choshech. We don't see that his sensitivities, we don't see his needs, we don't see what he requires, what he's trying to ask without verbalating it, without expressing it in words. That's Choshech. That's Mitzrayim, the world of darkness. Yetzias Mitzrayim is understanding that the light lies when we see Roy Ishas Achiv, we see another Yid. And that's why Yosef was the one that paved the way for Klal Yisrael by being the Yosef who Mashbir. He was the Mashpia. He was the Baal Chesed. That is Yetzias Mitzrayim. And this is learned from the parish of Egla Rufa. Devarim nifloim v'yesodiyim. So they wish to help him. The Zerah Shimshon schus should be making for us. Levasha b'dvar Yeshua v'rachmim. We should be zoiche to be mischasedim abrios. We should be zoiche to only see Yeshuas and Refuas and the Chamas. Besuras Toivas and Good Shabbos.